All right.
Okay, there we go.
So we're just going to get started.
All right.
Welcome in, everybody, to this episode of Fancie's Fables 9.5, labeled as such because we are going to be focusing on something aside the main plot for our party. See, last episode, a member was absent because Korahktao had some personal business to take care of, while the rest of the party headed off to Baldur's Gate. So tonight we will be discovering exactly what happened to Ko during their separation, and how it is specifically he had so quickly reunited with the party.
Dun dun dun.
Typically, I start the episodes with a personal question to help us get to know the characters just a little bit better each episode. However, because the focus of this episode is purely upon delving into one character specifically, I will skip the question this time.
I saw the question because I watched the YouTube video, and
Would you like to? You know what? Yeah. Would you? Since you missed it, would you like to answer the question from last the last episode?
Ko has a few items on his person.
Well, hold up. Let me restate the question.
Yep.
So the question was, what personal item does your character carry with them? What has personal value to them that is just simply something that isn't like utilitarian or anything like that? It's just a personal affection.
So in terms of his items, I feel like he doesn't have one that is distinctly personal, because the things that he has gathered have all been a part of him crafting an identity, because that was what he was taught in Eberron to do in order to fit in with the rest of society, because the Kalashtar there are being hunted. And then being transferred over to Turo, he immediately started trying to build up an identity for himself so that he could fit in, which is why he plays the part of the bard, and he plays at the bars and all sorts of other things. And then he goes adventuring, and he's got like this multitude of things that he does. So in his inventory, I would say he's got his charlatan's die, his loot, and that's it. That's like has any significance value, but only from the perspective of he has this role, this persona that he has to play in order to achieve his goals, or to at least blend in enough. So the lute obviously being, an instrument that he plays as his, identity as a bard. And then the charlatan die, well, we'll get into that at some point in the future. But yes, unlike his party members, Ko does not have a distinct item that's just his, because he's never had the time/need to have or obtain such a thing.
Yeah, they're more of items like would describe him interpersonally, and less items that he looks at for remembrance or fondness of something.
Exactly.
Interesting.
He's definitely like, it has to have a usage.
Yeah.
It has to have utility, which is kind of like funny that you brought that up. It's like, oh, what's the non-utility item? And it's like, nah, everything is utility, all utility. He's just walking around with multiple like bat belts and stuff, utility belts and everything. He's just strapped.
Well, it's interesting if we look at like Eberron, where Korahktao is from. It is constantly in a state of war. There are always factions fighting against each other. So in many places, you do not have the luxury of being able to reminisce or even hold on to something that isn't
you stop to
a necessity
and you die,
for survival. Yep, absolutely.
That's it. For real.
So, let's do a mini recap. Not a full recap, because this is going to be a shorter episode. So, for Wednesday, make sure you check out episode 9 on YouTube. But to catch us up to speed, The party had just rescued a gnome, Eros, from being robbed in the streets of Waterdeep. Eros was on his way to the Owl's Eye Tower of Knowledge in order to sell said book to Evan Manderth, the chief librarian of the tower. Said book turned into a Gingwatsum, a strange amorphous blob of green, gelatinous substance that then ran chaos through the tower, knocking many books and notes and destroying a lot of things. Evan sends away the party as well as Eros to go make sure this doesn't happen again, because this was not the first time that this had happened in his tower, and Evan wasn't standing for it. But before the party leaves from the tower, Ko suddenly has an assault on his mind. As you're standing there, Ko, there comes this heavy rush of thoughts and emotions, like a block of stone has been pressed upon your head, and you can't help but fall down to one knee as this weight comes upon you. Everything in your surroundings falls away as you get this rush of rage and sorrow and confusion. There are images in your mind, places you've never seen, people you've never interacted with, but they're memories nonetheless. You stand back up, shaking it off. And Evan, eyeing you, very, very interested, tells you to come with him. And with the suggestion of your longtime companion and friend here in Toril, Kane, you trust Evan and follow him back up to his private study.
Private time. What is it, Evan?
Oh, it's just interesting what has happened to you there. Give me a moment. I do apologize for the display that happened down there. I just hate for people to see me sober like that. And he waves his fingers, and a wine glass floats up in the air, and a bottle of wine levitates up to it, pouring a healthy amount before the glass floats into his hand, and he takes a few gulps. Oh, yes, yes. How is your head?
You know, it's been quite some time since I felt anything like this before. Do you mind? And I'm gonna gesture over to the floating glass or the floating thing of alcohol.
Yes, sure. He whisks another glass up and has it levitate into your hand. You feel it's weightless when you take it, but then the spell ceases and you can feel the weight of the glass in your hand, confirming that you are holding it. 1 second.
Yep.
We'll go with this one. Hold on.
Feeling the mood out.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember exactly what that one sounded like. Sorry.
It's all good.
Okay.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
you
kind
feel
of just, like,
the weight of it in your hand.
immediately like take a swig of it. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm not from Toril.
Yes, it was where you were from. Where was it you're from again?
Eberron.
Eberron. You see him again when he says that name, he just racks his mind, and it falls empty once more, and he shakes his head.
But wait.
In turn, he also takes a nice gulp.
So, what exactly can I do for you?
Yes. There is much you can do for me. He lets go of the glass, and it levitates there in the air.
Kind of stare at him confused.
Are you practiced in psionics, Co?
That is the way of my people.
Oh.
I reply telepathically.
He nods, a smile crossing his face. He then returns the response telepathically. Well, it is good, then, for that sudden onslaught you had down there was not completely foreign to you, was it?
No, but it is... how to put it? It's more of an omen.
Oh?
I feel. See, my people, we share a connection, if you will, to a greater spirit than our own. And, well, as you put it, the onslaught. That's not something that I've experienced for a long time, seeing as the bridge between myself and said spirit is not as strong as it has been in a very long time.
So there's something outside of you that is connected to you.
In a sense, yes. But not just myself. And that's what's alarming. I'm gonna take another swig.
He nods, breaking the silence as you've been communing telepathically for this duration with a sigh and the sound of his glass refilling. He walks over to one of his bookshelves and begins to look through some of the tomes, running a finger across the spines and occasionally pulling one out, shaking his head and putting it back in. Continue, friend. Your people. Tell me about them again.
We are Kalistar. And we are connected to quori, the spirits.
Spirits. Okay, alright. Is this like a phantom or a shade or something of that nature?
No.
He
The
takes
spirits
another
we are
swig.
connected to, the quori, they come from the dreaming plane, Dalkor.
Is that a cultural term for your dreaming world? Because we call it something different.
From what I've been able to gather in my time in Toro, the people here are pretty much unaware of the existence of Eberron and Dalkor, which makes me think that there is something significant separating the existences of my homeworld and the one we currently reside in. Hence why I asked you earlier about teleportation on massive scale.
This is intriguing. I was looking for some tome about spiritual possession, but it doesn't seem to be specifically that.
My link with Korahktao is not a possession, if you will. That is for the inspired. And Cole kind of like, for a moment, he kind of just like recomposes himself from like his kind of like drawn out kind of look. And he just has a look of disgust for that brief moment as he's saying inspired and stuff. Yeah, it's very evident that he does not wish to speak of them so casually.
Evan notices this, finishing his second glass of wine within only a few minutes. Another bottle appears, and you hear the rustle of parchment beside you. You turn your head, and you see a floating quill and parchment. It has been taking notes this entire time, and you've only just noticed it, levitating there a few feet away from you.
I think Cole's eyes will begin to start glowing as he's kind of a little irritated by this.
Evan takes no heed to your change in demeanor. So these, inspired, you said?
And I kind of look at the quill, look back at
the quill stops writing and, like, points at you, as if waiting for your response.
Do you have to? I'll kind of gesture.
Oh, I have so much up here, dear friend, and I am quite intrigued in your plight. Kane said that I could help you, and, well, I like being involved in interesting things, so this will help me in assisting you. But if you don't want my help, I suppose I can send you off with your friends now.
Well, Kane did say you were the person to become friends with. And I
Evan winks.
I suppose an exchanging of interests is a great way to start.
Good.
But yes, what was your question again? Sorry.
I'm then sits...
having trouble focusing.
He then sits in the love seat you had first seen him on when you met him earlier, and reclines on it. Oh, the inspired, if you will. And then he gestures at a armchair that is quite exquisite in design, though the cushions on the seat look quite comfortable as well.
I am certainly going to sit down. I need to recline. Yes, they are the opposite, if you will, to a Kalastar. In Dalcor, the quori come in two forms: good and evil. The evil, at this point in time, are in charge, and the place exists in the form of nightmares, is what most people would have. And these individual nightmares that you or anybody else who would dream would have kind of exist alongside Dalcor, but not ever intersecting or being a place where the quori can travel freely. However, the evil Dalcor, or the evil quori, have begun finding means to invade people's nightmares or their dreams, and thus turning them to nightmares. The quori that is in myself and others like me, they're among 66 good quori spirits that escaped Dalcor.
Quite specific number.
Yes, it just happens to be, as history explains for my people, it happened to be the number of willing hosts that existed in Eberron that bonded themselves to become the first Kalastar.
You hear another crinkle of parchment, and glancing over once more, you see the page turn over, noticing it's only one sheet, and as it turns over, the notes on the page disappear off of it, and it continues to inscribe your words.
That'd be dope as fuck to have.
Ah.
But yes,
So
the original
66, yes. We can return to that. This is intriguing to me, but you came here, you were caught up in something? There was a blinding energy?
The inspired, they attacked.
Wow.
And a commander of sorts unleashed some sort of spell. And then there was the light. And then I was here.
Interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. So this spirit that's connected to only 66 of you?
No. Allow me to explain further. 66 quori escaped from Dalcor and bonded with 66 individuals within Eberron.
So
66
from
mortal
the realm
individuals.
of dreams to 66 people.
Yes.
Okay.
So, 66 original Kalishtar, the first of our kind, the union between spirit and mortal. From those 66 became generations that would carry on the spirits within them. But the spirits would never multiply, only 66. Each individual spirit having multiple connections between each generation of Kalishtar.
Ah, so like your whole family shares one of these quori.
Yes and no, because of how familial bonds work. The same way you might carry a surname, but if you were to marry, your partner might change their surname or you would change yours. It's similar in that regards. If two people from different original spirits were to have a union, their child could either have one or the other spirit's connection, and then they would then take on the traits and name of that spirit. So there's always
unique.
a chance to have multiple options.
So while you've been here, you've had no such connection with your spirit. But
That's
what
what's interesting.
we had seen down there...
No.
No.
Yesterday. No. This morning. Forgive me. It's been a night. When I woke this morning, I remember recalling a brief pull to Korahktao. I haven't had that since I arrived. And then there was what has just transpired downstairs.
I see. He finishes his third glass of wine before allowing the glass to rest on a tabletop. Co, I feel we have gotten to know each other a little bit over these past few minutes. Would you come sit beside me, friend?
Well, sure. Sure.
Getting a little sexy there, alright. So,
well, sure.
he scoots over on the seat, allowing room for you to sit beside him, and he closes his eyes and rubs his hands together. Now, this may be a little invasive, but I'm certain you're familiar with such things. Allow me, please, to reach within your mind. I'd like to see the nature of this connection, more than just a surface-level communication between your consciousness and mine.
I will permit you. However, seeing as the connection to Korahktao seems to be coming back in some ways, I do warn you that there are possibilities that your mind could be in danger.
Thank you for the fair warning. He whisks his hand, and you see on a desk with some clutter on it, as I've described before, his room is pretty clean and orderly, many things cleaning up around you even now. But this desk has several trinkets and papers on it, and you see it begin to quiver, and a few things slide out of the way as a circlet flies out of it into Evan's hand. He then puts it on his head. It's made of intertwining metals and delicate leaves etched into it. There is a single focus stone in the center. This should protect me from any psionic pushback that may happen.
Also, Korahktao has existed for centuries. You may see things that are alien, arcane, and just foreign. Try not to freak out.
I have been east, my friend. There's nothing that can surprise me.
Oh, God. That was good.
His eyes then begin to have a soft glow radiate from them. The pupils disappear into whiteness, much as yours do into a delicate shade of blue. He gestures his hands and slowly reaches them towards you, placing his index and middle fingertips upon your temples. As they touch, you feel this electric pulse into your head and down your spine, as both your eyes now glow, and you take a sharp intake of breath. The world around you falls away, and it's replaced with this ethereal, tangible thickness. A miasma surrounds you, and you stand there, a transparent version of yourself, with Evan beside you. This vastness is shapeless, yet dense. And then a wave crashes over you as these images and feelings come through both of you as you stand there. This ancient series of memories, all disjointed and combined, melded together in a successive onslaught of feeling. Battles won, battles lost. You feel yourself grow cold as you die, and then you feel the warmth of your own birth again, and again, and again, over time and space. Then there is an eerie stillness as everything freezes around you, and before you stands a battlefield. You recognize it as your home. Buildings burn and bodies lay around you. And frozen in time, this massive ball of energy rises up ahead of you, cast from a single source. You recognize your last sight on Eberron. Deep and guttural, a voice comes from around you.
I have been searching for you.
You both look around, pondering, the voice being neither of yours.
My descendant. So far traveled.
Korahktao.
One in the same.
I have no idea where I am.
You are lost, my child. But I have found you.
This is good news. Wait. How come you're searching for me?
Our people are vacant from Eberron.
Shit. Oh. I had a feeling that I wasn't the only one.
I was lost in the abyss. The dreams taking me back in. I refused to go. And in my rage, I found the light.
You see Evan standing beside you, taking in this moment, suddenly fall to his knees, as if something is pushing down on him.
You do not belong here.
He shakes a hand. I am merely an observer, bridging the gap between you two. You see, even in this ethereal world, the circlet on his head. And you note as the metal on it begins to glow with a heat.
Please, Korahktao. He is assisting in my communion with you. It has been very hard for me to feel our connection while here in Turo.
The heat subsides, and Evan takes a few breaths, regaining his composure.
Time is of the essence, Go. Our people are scattered. The inspired must face our wrath.
I was gonna kind of like bow his head, like, agreed. Tell me, what must I do?
Wizard, send us back home. Now.
I can't. I have no which direction from where you're from. You ask the impossible of me.
Then you are useless. Go, you must find yourself stronger. This weakling is not the key.
And again, Evan falls to his knees, the circlet quivering with energy as you see the metal begin to droop from the heat being applied to it. And then everything pulls away from you as you fall off of the couch you were sitting upon. Both you and Evan gasping for air. He rips off the circlet and throws it to the ground, feeling his head.
I warned you. But this is good.
Well, that's a sobering experience.
Indeed. I would like to have another drink, please.
Yes. A new bottle of wine comes and fills both your
By the
glasses.
spirit of Korahktao. But kind of like gets like up enough to like rest his back against the chair. He's kind of got like a way too big smile on his face right now.
Well, I'm glad you're entertained. He swallows the entire glass down.
This is
By the gods.
this
You
is
have-
a good sign.
Something very primal attached to you, friend.
Korahktao is very, very old. Primal, I think, would be an understatement to his ferocity.
I think he's correct, though. Seeing all of that, you really have come a long way. You see, the quill is still writing, and it is going at a pace unnaturally fast, trying to record everything that is still lingering in both your minds, but fading quickly. There are others of you, you said?
Yes, and if my suspicions are correct, the fact that Korahktao has sought me out means that my kind are dying. The previous of Korahktao's kin to commune directly, well, that was Korahktao. And he was a very, very fierce Kalistar. Killed plenty of inspired. And, well, as far as our kin goes, he seemed to be the closest to what we've all gathered to be traits from Korahktao. So much so that it was quite hard to distinguish whether Korahktao had possessed him like an inspired would have been possessed, or if he actually had free will. But nonetheless,
Discussing his potential passing. Ko, you feel this anger bubbling up inside of you. You cannot discern whether it is your own or not. Evan nods. So he was a strong warrior, and he had a strong connection to Korahktao.
yes, he was actually the sort of inspiration for what me and a few other Kalistar had been theorizing before I was cast from Eberron. We sought a way to strengthen the connection between Kalistar and quori, but not just between an individual within a lineage. We sought to seek it improved across the board. The distinction between a Kalistar and an inspired is that we are the offspring of beings who willingly accepted quori spirits into them, and it has become more of a harmony, a symbiotic relationship, if you will. Whereas the inspired, at this point in time, whether they agreed to be possessed or not, their entire personality are taken over by their quori spirits. They have no free will.
I understand.
And as such, there is a diminish in our capabilities. An inspired has, well, access to a whole host of psionic capabilities, if you will.
That would explain that spell that was approaching us in that vision. Heed me, Ko. Your spirit is filled with rage. Do not
Quite
let
perceptive.
that rage control you or your actions. I understand he wishes to get home, but this quest to find your true strength, if you are to head back home, your enemies already think you dead. And they've already moved on. They are continuing their lives and their plan. If you return now, at your current capabilities, you find true death awaiting you. You've been given this opportunity.
Ooh.
May I do one more thing?
I agree.
He whisks a small piece of metal, tiny, almost unseeable if not for the glint of it against the light. And then this loose hose attached to it,
Tendril hose.
leading to a small vial. I, as well as many others, have the capability to see beyond, to see someone or something elsewhere. Now, it has limitations, but using something connected to whom we wish to see makes it more palpable and more likely to succeed. With this I can take some of your blood, just a small amount, and use it to see if your people are still alive.
Fucking Ko's already like pulling out his dagger. And
No,
he's
no
like,
need for that. No need for that. This is much less invasive. Hold out your arm.
Oh.
He then sticks the metal directly into a visible vein.
Let's go.
Alright, clench your fist. And you see as the hose fills with thick red blood, filling the vial quickly. Okay, he then pulls it out and then summons a small cloth and hands it to you. Apply some pressure to that. You see him dismantle the apparatus, and he holds the vial. This should only take but a moment. He then closes his eyes, and the vial levitates ahead of him. And after a few moments, he opens his eyes again, and the vial quivers and shatters before disappearing to dust. 6. Ko. How many were in your clan?
A lot more than that, but at the time of disappearing, that sounds accurate.
There are 6 with your blood in Toril. I could not discern where specifically. I was casting a wide net to see what I could catch. 6. Unless it was also counting you. I'm sorry, my friend.
No. Do not be sorry. This is actually very good.
This gives hope. Strength in numbers, my friend. I am so in love with this story and this quest.
I'm glad.
I need more. He pulls out the
More.
apparatus again.
Blood.
This time I'll be more focused with it, but it will take me time. I can't do it as quickly.
I'll remove the cloth.
He takes some more from you.
Must.
He then gives you a glance as he pulls out a second vial. An empty vial, as if to swap it out.
He gives me a glance.
Yeah, like, another? Are you fine?
Yes, I
right.
should be okay.
He swaps it out, getting 2 vials of your blood now before letting you cover it back up. All right. You, my friend, have a journey to complete. And with that, you need patience. Do not let this thing bowl you over. He then puts the vials away in a bag on his belt. Don't trust anyone to give you a quick solution. Another glass of wine fills and he sips from it.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's what's been having me return time and time again to Waterdeep.
You've been led on merriments, correct?
Indeed.
Anyone trying to sell you that is only looking to get something in return. Trust me, friend. Because there is no quick solution back to your Eberron. For that place does not exist to us.
So it is, as I thought, far removed from anything that exists within this realm.
Correct. But my predecessor, the wizard whose tower this had belonged to, he may have some answers, but he has been away for a very long time. I'm not sure if I'll be able to reach him in any haste. In the meantime, I will use the blood you have given me to find some answers of my own, and I will write a letter to Artor, the Planestepper, and see what he can give us. He then stands, almost wobbling, and takes another sip of his wine. Good measure. He begins to walk over to another shelf, covered in different stones and crystals, and on top of it is a glass case filled with larger stones and crystals. He then picks up a small, shimmering blue one, and he whispers into it before walking back over to you, and hands you the blue crystal.
What is this?
I'll explain in a moment, but I must tell you something, Ko. You must promise me this. Don't tell anybody I've helped you. The last thing I need is people knocking on my tower door, asking for me to find their lost cousin, second time removed.
You need not worry about that. King said you'd make a great friend, and I've been trying to amass such individuals in my time here. Unfortunately, I've been stuck with him as my primary friend, if you will. And then the others, as you saw.
You know, it's not unfortunate that you've met Cain. Out of all the people in Waterdeep, he has this way of solving problems.
He does indeed, but oftentimes I find that he gets me into them first, and then we solve them together.
Yes, he does have a gruff nature about him. But if you knew him like I did... Regardless.
Speaking of things you know, I've shared plenty of my story. Of course, I don't need you to divulge all of your secrets, but there will be a point in time when we will talk again about you.
Buy me a few drinks at the Gilded Nymph. Perhaps you'll loosen my lips as I loosen others.
Perhaps we can even bring Cain. He really loves it there.
It's Cain's favorite place, I hear.
It is.
Now, I believe that you are overdue, my friend. Take some rest.
I will.
And I will see to it that you meet back with your friends. No need to make the travel yourself.
Wait. The crystal. What does it do?
Oh, yes. I'm going to send you to Baldur's Gate directly. That will get you to Cain once you're there. There's a distance involved.
I see. Well,
I think they should be there by now. He looks at a clock ticking on the wall. I mean, we've been in here for 6 days.
what? We've been in here for...
You feel a slight
mind.
gnaw of hunger in your stomach when he says that. And you look around and you can't tell any time like that has passed at all. He nods his head. Oh, yes, sorry. When we melded minds, Korahktao made us fall unconscious for quite some time. I was trying for 3 days to get us out of that state.
Well, at any rate, Phoebe probably thinks I'm dead. But that's fine.
Well, then you can surprise her.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
I think so. I have a
All
thing
right.
with teleportation, but just... You do it when you're ready. I will just...
In the
focus
middle of
on
your
you.
sentence, you feel everything like it's just this lurch, like you lurch forward and then pull back, and you feel everything inside of you just flips over. And you appear on a sigil in the middle of a large city. A few guards turn to look at you as you suddenly appear. First time.
No. Not my first, but certainly not a pleasant experience. Ever.
Well, welcome to Baldur's Gate. Don't get in any trouble.
I will do my best not to. Have you by chance seen a blue dragonborn?
Blue Dragonborn, maybe. A red one, a white one, a black one.
A blue dragonborn with a small little girl and a warforged.
If you're looking for somebody, you might check by the wide.
Where is that?
He points, and you turn, and you see this massive courtyard filled with tents and shacks and stalls. A massive open-air market stands about 100 feet from you. You can hear the sound and smell what's wafting over.
Thank you. I'm gonna kind of like pull out the crystal and kind of look at it. So, this is supposed to help me find him. Kind of look back at it, look at the crowd, kind of like, fuck.
You feel it kind of tremble in your hand, and you look back up at the crowd, and as you kind of squint into it, trying to look and hopefully see Kane, you suddenly lurch again.
Oh, what the fuck?
And beside you, you hear, "Oh, hi, Ko!" And you turn and you see Phoebe and your companions.
The face you made when you did it in the little baba, that is literally Kelsey.
Yep,
It's so good.
it is Phoebe.
Oh, man. Hello. Have you guys missed me?
You see Kane cross his arms. And we are going to end this one-on-one episode of Fancie's Fables.
It's a spicy one. Yeah, how accurate that was. It was so good though, Kelsey.
Oh my goodness. What an episode, huh?
Ooh, this was good. I like this. This is
Lots
so much.
and lots of good information for things that are to come.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, thank you everybody for coming into this first individual episode of Fancie's Fables. We hope you were as entertained as we were playing it.
It was so good.
Please, if you have not yet, go follow Dante on all the socials. He is amazing. You can find him as ArtisMyVoice, as you see under his video there. He does amazing artwork, and he is just an all-around amazing person. Follow him on Twitch here. You can see his art streams where he strums guitar and is just the chillest person.
I try.
Make sure you check out the YouTube to see the previous episodes, including Wednesday's episode that he was absent from. Make sure you are caught up fully on the story before we continue next Wednesday with our guest player along with us, Mick Huntingtons, as we resolve his little quest in Baldur's Gate. If you would like to support our little show here, please consider donating on the Patreon. We will put your name in all the credits to show your grand support to us, and that money goes to all the things that make it possible. Not Patreon. Zoom, Syrinscape, D&D Beyond, anything else we may use, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, all of that kind of stuff. That's just right to the show. Do you have any announcements, my friend?
I'll be streaming tomorrow morning at some point.
No. It's going to be a couple weeks before you and I do that. I have things for the rest of June. I'm sorry.
Those streams will be returning.
Yes.
In the future.
So if you recall,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Xavier and I have comic/graphic novel stuff that we've been writing and developing for a few years now.
Yep.
And yeah, we used to do some streams here and there where we would work on the characters and stuff like that, the artwork, and we will be resuming that or bringing that back probably in a month or so, give or take.
Yeah.
We don't have the exact date set because we both have other things going on, but we will be returning to that soon-ish.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work on it, and really what we're at now is the art.
Yeah.
God, I don't even remember my own fucking commands. There we go. Yes, I think that is it. So yeah, just stay tuned on both of our Twitters for an announcement on when that will happen, if you would like to see us do art again. We've both, gained a lot of skill in the past year, so it's going to be fun to see where we're at. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Again, thank you everyone for coming in. You're all fucking amazing. You make this show possible. I love being here for you guys. Dante, I love role-playing with you and all of our other players.
With you too.
This has been the best campaign thus far. If you've played in the other ones, don't take it personally.
We just get better and better, all right? That's what happens.
And we will see you all next Wednesday.
Yes.
Take care.
See ya.